Hello
Hello and welcome
and welcome.
to Luna and the Druid.
And we're in Luna's place.
Yes, we're in my studio, and today I'm in charge of the techie stuff, so I'm sure I'm going to mess up at least three things.
Ah, come on. you got this.
Well, we'll see. We'll
You got
see.
this.
But an interesting topic
Yes.
today. First of all, hello and welcome. I already see some comments here, so let
Yeah.
me check that.
Good evening.
Claire
Hello, Claire.
says, "Good evening, both and all. I'm running late as usual, but hope to join at some point. Wishing you a wonderful evening." Oh my goodness, it's so wonderful to not even start live and already have a comment. Thank
Yeah.
you, Claire. Hopefully, you'll be able to join us. And welcome to people who are not watching us live, but are watching the replay. Hello and welcome. Always say hi in the comments if you wish. Let us know you're watching us. Yes, today we will talk about
Two things.
two things. We will continue with our tarot lessons.
Yeah, but that's the second part of
Mm,
the show today. And we're starting off with the second episode of our energy and vibration
yeah, um,
series. And that's about the emotional scale.
absolutely. So
So, the levels of vibrations.
let's dive deep. So, last time we talked about energy, what it is energy, what does it mean, energy, what does it mean that we are vibrating certain energies. And I promised you guys a graphical and visual image of emotional scale, and I'm not sure how
It's
to.
Richard. Oh, Richard is there already.
Hi,
Go back
Richard.
to
So lovely
design,
to
please.
have you
Yeah.
here. Richard says it's a fabulous topic,
Yeah, there it
and there
is.
it is.
And here we have the emotional scale.
Yeah.
Boom. As you can see, it starts with very low vibrations on the bottom. We're in the red.
Here, if I'll point on the
Yeah,
screen, they probably won't see
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
pointing. Okay.
And that's shame, guilt, and apathy. And it gets better. It gets less from within. It more has to do with going outside and showing yourself with pride, with courage, being neutral. The
Mm,
green color is a nice neutral color, and we end up with love and joy and peace and enlightenment,
mm,
being high vibrational states.
yes.
So the vibrational scale, an image like this, if you want to maybe grab the screen
Hmm.
later and use that to see where you are in life, where how it works for you.
Yeah. What I find fascinating about this scale is that it can show you how you can move easily up. So, for example, I'll put that thing on the screen again. For example, when you're angry or when you feel prideful, you know that the next step for you to take yourself out of that emotion would be to do something courageous, something which will boost your courage. And that's how you can level up and just one level after another go higher and higher. And
Yeah,
why is it important to higher our vibration? Why is it important to be rather high vibrational rather than low vibrational?
yeah, it brings positivity. If it's
Mhm.
it's it's like it's a force of life. When you're in a high vibrational state, um, you definitely you're more willing to approach the challenges in life, or
Mm,
you're if you have ambition, if you're working on your career from a low emotional state,
mm,
your career will not get nowhere.
yeah,
and and
absolutely.
and
That's a
and
good
and, and
point.
it goes not only on career, but it also goes on finding passion and purpose. Or
Mm,
people with low vibrations will have difficulties finding or keeping partners in their
yeah.
lives, because they people with a low vibration will slowly push away people from their
Mm,
lives because they're closed off, they're in a negative state, they complain a lot, they show that they're in anger, that they're not in a comfortable or not in a good place when you're in a low vibrational state.
mm.
And
Often
you,
sucking other people in into that lower vibration
yeah,
as well.
yeah. And if you do that, then people will push you back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I remember we had someone working at our place, and the guy was a really nice person, but very we call it melancholical,
Mm-hmm.
very negative, very oh, this is not working. Lots of um, negative or limiting beliefs, negative beliefs that the world is bad in general, and the world isn't bad. The world is neutral.
Yeah, that's the thing. The world is
So
neutral. It's what
it's
we make
what
out of
we
it.
create our own lives, our own
Yeah.
futures, and if we push or pull ourselves in this negativity, in the negative spiral, we we push people away, we push ourselves away, and we let go of chances
Mm.
that are there for us, that are bringing us further in life.
Just a quick comment on that, because I think you pointed out a really important aspect, and all I could hear in my head is Tony Robbins saying, we don't experience life. We experience what we focus on. And that's true. And I'm referring here to that, what you said, that life is and everything what's happening, it is neutral, because it is. It's what we make it. It's what we charge it with, our emotions, with our beliefs, with our opinions. And I think that's really important to understand, that the same situation can be bad for one person, but can be something good for another person, because usually behind those negative, that bad things, it's actually a miracle waiting around the corner, a change, a transformation. Bad things usually are there to show us something. So
Yeah, to
it's,
teach us.
yeah, it's either a
Yeah,
blessing or a blessing in disguise.
yeah. What I talk about a lot is, especially if you look at the time of year,
Mm,
if we look at the fields, or our gardens, the borders of our gardens, where we normally in summer we have flowers, they're black now. They're dark.
mhm,
They're empty. But if we dwell only on the the moment, right now, that the fields are empty, and align with that vibration, we forget that underneath all kinds of things are happening,
mhm.
and we're just waiting for the sun to come out, and we're waiting for a little rain and a little fertilizer and a little positive energy, and boom,
Yeah,
uh,
for the
we're
process to start.
it's going to come, and we
Mm.
no, inevitably the garden will flourish again.
Exactly, because that's the circle of life. In life, nothing gets stuck unless there are some external forces, like we choose to get stuck. But that's the thing, that's the circle of life. There is darkness, but then there is a light after that.
That's the balance. Yeah,
And why we're talking about it, because it's so easy to forget, especially when we find ourselves in those lower vibrations, anger, pain, guilt, that it doesn't have to be like this forever, that we do have a choice. And yes, even if you're experiencing those emotions right now, obviously embrace them. Don't pretend like there is nothing happening within your energy body, within your emotions, but experience those emotions and release them, and try to actively do something to get yourself out of that zone,
yeah,
out of the low vibrational state.
yeah, yeah. So the important thing is to acknowledge where you are,
Mm.
to say, I'm here now. Is this a state I want to be in? Sometimes we are. Today we had a good example. The sun was out. We had some time left to make a lovely walk in one of the most beautiful places in Kerry, there in Nine Beach,
Yes,
and the vibration was sky high,
absolutely.
and that was because it was given to us, and we accepted it, and it was even better than. Uh, we were already in a positive state,
Hmm.
and so it's circumstantial, but there's also a lot of coming from within.
Oh, absolutely.
So it has both. So it has the influence from the outside. Um, we can get lost in negativity, negative news. We can get lost in what's happening in the world, even though it doesn't touch us directly.
Hmm.
And as long as it doesn't touch us directly, we should more or less take note of it, ignore it, and go on with your life.
Yeah.
Because if there's something you can do about it, That's fine. If it's out of your control, deal with it, live with it, move on, see how it actually affects us. And
Mm,
that's what influences the levels that you have, the vibrational levels that you have. If you feel powerless, if you feel like the world makes its decisions for you and you're
mm,
not empowering yourself to make your decisions, that's what drags you into negativity.
yeah, absolutely. We all have patterns. Everything is a pattern. There are habits, the way we've learned things, the way we were taught things, create certain pattern, create certain way of acting, behaving, certain way of looking at things, thinking, getting emotionally involved or not. And this all emits a vibration, an energy. What we vibrate, what we give out literally to the universe, it's like we would be an antenna sending a certain signal to the universe. If you, let's say, radiate anger, then this frequency will come back to you because you are like an antenna. So you're sending it, but you're also receiving the same
Mhm.
signal. How many times something happened which ruined your mood, and then all of a sudden events started to happen which made you more angry? You kicked your little toe, or little, yeah, toe.
Yeah, though, yeah, yeah,
Then you, I don't know, tripped over a cable or something, and the
yeah.
day is going
Or
to
broke the lovely china vase or something.
yeah, for example. And
Yeah,
then
and
the
things go bad from.
things go bad. Why? Because there is a certain energy you're emitting around you, or other people are emitting, because sometimes we get
Mhm.
affected by others, just like Jan said before. And it's really important to be aware of that what is coming from us, it's not only here around us, but it affects the entire circumstances around us. And it's okay if we have a bad day. It's a human being. But then what is really important is to not get consumed by it,
Yeah.
to actively ask myself, okay, what is that one thing I could do here and now to immediately start feeling better, to rise my vibration?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, well, the most important thing is that you observe,
Oh, yeah.
that you see and acknowledge where you are.
Mm,
With the knowledge we've given you today, that you can raise your vibration and you can go into different states and different moods. So and always look for the easy things. If you're low, think of someone you love, or
mm,
some animal you love, or a vista you love, or a thing that you know that some of the coming days will come to you. Think of something
mhm,
positive, and
mm.
even thinking of something like that will raise your
Yeah.
vibration.
Where focus goes, energy flows. So
That's
if
it.
you'll keep thinking about, oh, I'm so hungry today, you will feed that energy. If, just like Jan said, you will actively do something to shift that energy, it will change. And before we say anything else, there's so many things going on in the comments.
Maybe the one from Claire is
Um,
a nice long
so
one.
yes, hello and everybody, to everyone who says hello here. We have Ramona here, Anna, Magda, Iron Fire Horse. So this is our
Richard,
beautiful Richard here, beautiful family coming together, and we
I have
have
Claire.
Claire. Would you mind to read it because it's
Yeah,
closer to you?
yeah. This is lovely to listen to, says Claire. I love to see the comments, and she talks about the serenity prayer that helps
Mm,
me to get through scenarios and repeat patterns that other people present to me. It doesn't comfort one as well as meditation. It does
mm.
comfort one as well as meditation. The serenity prayer.
Yeah,
I
that's
heard the
lovely.
term before. Are you
Not
familiar? Not
familiar,
familiar with it? No.
but I know what serenity is about. So I
Susan.
think I can. If you could just add a little bit in the comments what is it about. And Susan says hi
Hi,
as
Susan.
well. My goodness, guys, I have to say I love the comment section. If it's so active, my favorite part is when you actually guys greet each other in the comments. This is so wonderful because
Especially regular viewers who meet each other every week,
yes,
and
yes,
or
no,
sometimes they're off for a short time.
Mm.
Iron Firehorse says it's a nice prayer, Claire. I keep saying this too shall pass as negatives come up. Well, this too shall pass is one
Yeah.
I use regularly. I use a series.
Mm.
The first one is it true? Is it really true? Is that so?
Katie
You know?
Barron, work by Katie
Yeah,
Barron.
yeah.
Yeah.
The second one is this too shall pass,
Mm.
and there's another one. Oh yeah, I won't get influenced by what happens.
That's a good one
I'm
too.
neutral to what happens. What happens. There's always something happening,
Mhm.
and the only thing that we're responsible for is how we respond to what's happening. So how do we vibrate?
Absolutely.
There we have it again. How do we vibrate? What frequency do we return to what happens? And
Absolutely.
if we keep our own vibration, whether it's higher or lower than what happens, and when we stick to ourselves, we're strong. We're in our power. We're in our strength.
Mm.
And always know that nothing is permanent. That even the hardest time or distance or whatever, creates
Yeah.
space around the happenings.
Absolutely. Clara says, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah, and I knew it
Thank you
actually.
for thank you for sharing
I
that.
just didn't know the title, but I know
Mhm.
the content of it. And
Wonderful. My
thank
goodness,
you,
there's
Claire.
so many. I saw a comment from Richard here as well. Um, one of mine, and I know of Luna too. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. That's Ho'oponopono. I love this prayer as well. And this is actually, I want to call it a cleansing tool because that's how I use it. It's a healing prayer as well, which helps you to transmute that energy. Very shortly, thank you for mentioning that, Richard. Why I love Ho'oponopono, because it's a prayer where you get into that state of, first of all, I'm sorry, where you take responsibility for whatever happened on your part, on your behalf, or basically you take responsibility for not learning about something early enough. And then you just allow yourself to take that responsibility and feel it. It's like, it's, you know, that when you say I'm sorry to somebody, there is that certain feeling, that certain frequency you emit, and it's really important to feel it within your heart so your heart could radiate it. Then it's please forgive me, which is the act of asking for forgiveness. It's that thing which cleanses the energy. And then thank you, which is the energy of gratitude. So when you're on that part, you send and feel that energy of gratitude, which amplifies everything in your life, basically. And then I love you. It's obviously one of the highest vibrations we can experience, and we can go into just by sending love to ourselves, to others, to the person who did us wrong sometimes as well, because love heals.
Yeah, and even forgiveness being uh, one of the strongest emotions that there is, because it clears out your inner being. So giving, ask me, so forgive me if you ask to someone else, and the other person says, I give you the forgiveness. I accept
Yeah,
your apologies, and I give you forgiveness. Then two persons are raising their vibrations,
exactly.
and it works so lovely. It's and it's just about loving each other, expecting each other, respecting each other, allowing mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we all make mistakes
We're all humans,
every
and
day. I
this
do
is
them.
exactly, this is the part of human experience.
Yeah.
just because we experience anger or some negative other emotions, it doesn't make us bad, it doesn't make us worse, it doesn't make us any less. This is just a part of human experience. However, the surroundings, like governments, most of governments, people who are in power, people who want to enslave other people to work for them and for their gain, will do everything to keep us stuck in those low vibrations, because that's a prison. Because the higher you go, the more freedom you start to experience in your life, freedom of manifestation. So you can freely manifest what you want, wish, because everything is energy. The higher energy of ours is, the quicker and easier it is to get a response from universe. Like in the, let's talk for a second about 3D Heidi. I hope you're familiar with what that means. It's the density of the energy. And before the Earth, it was said that it was in a 3D reality, but right now the Earth is moving and leveling up energy wise into a 5D realms, which probably some of you noticed that time feels like it flies faster, even if nothing has changed. This is one of those aspects. And the higher vibration is, the things happen quicker. It's how many times when you feel good, you feel nice, you think of someone, and then all of a sudden that person calls you,
There they are.
or you meet them. How many times you think of something, ask a question, and then all of a sudden an answer comes by either you will open your social media and there will be a person talking about it, you will meet a person who will give you the answer without even asking the question. So yeah, high vibes are really cool. It's a good state to be in because life flows easier.
Yeah.
And before we go here, uh,
And Firehorse, I often say, I forgive you for not being the way I wanted you to be. I forgive you and set you free. Not sure where it came from. Maybe Louise Hayes? Do you think so? I'm not sure.
that sounds
Yeah.
actually like Louise
Yeah.
Hay. Sorry, I'm messing here with comments. Could be. It's a lovely one as well, because the feeling of forgiveness, and we tend to forget it. That yes, we tend to forget others, but we forget to forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's super important, because then we will still carry the energy and the vibration of blame on us. So it's super important to remember to include ourselves in the process of
Yeah, and especially because, like Ian Ferrer says, I forgive you for not being the way I wanted you to be. Nobody can be the way you want them to be. That's the big problem. If we can all allow people to be who they are and to accept who they are with the good things and the other things, we create space.
yeah.
We create space. We raise our common vibrations.
Also, and I'm going to come back to where the focus goes, energy flows, and that we don't experience life the way it is. We experience what we focus on. How many times when you feel love, you notice love around? You notice birdies flying up in the sky, you notice animals, you notice people holding hands, you notice all sorts of, and proves that love actually exists.
Yeah.
But how many times you feel guilty and all of a sudden it brings more feeling of guilt? It brings old stuff from the past, for example. And I forgot when I was going with this.
Well, it's by putting your mind to it and observing the response that the universe gives. You raise your
Yes,
vibration.
and
You raise your vibration because you're
and you
aligning
product more of that
you align
as well.
you align yourself to the higher levels of vibration. So, yeah, what would be a good approach to raise your vibration, to look at yourself?
Oh my goodness, there are so many things, and we
Yeah,
talk about them often
yeah,
here. So let's quickly come up with a list. Mine, first of all, is change either what you focus on, like literally focus your thoughts on something else, or change your physiology, which
yeah,
basically move your body in order to create hormones of happiness.
yeah,
Dance, go for a run, exercise, hug your dog, hug a person, do something within your physical body which will make you feel better. Those are mine too.
yeah, yeah,
To go things.
yeah. Yeah, I think the observer part is very important. So, and value your
Mm,
vibrations. So give your vibrations a number. Am I one, very low? Am I neutral, a five, a six, or
mm,
seven, or am I at a 10? And if ever the vibrational level where you're on is lower than neutral, work on it.
mm,
Work on
yeah.
it. Observe it. Write down what happens, what caused you, what did what caused the idea of you losing this
Mm,
your vibrational state, your good vibrational state. How did I lose it? Write it down. Uh, Even write down maybe on a daily basis for a while how you feel from 1 to 10, and then work on it,
yeah.
because by observing it, it's like the ego. By observing it, it will lose its power over
Mm,
you, and you get more and more in control of it.
that's a great
So
tip.
if you
Yeah.
observe that you're just a five, don't accept it from yourself. Say, I'm a five. Come on, I can do better than this.
Mm, yeah.
And oftentimes, we oftentimes say, "Fake it till you make it." It's also with negative, limiting beliefs and stuff, or positive beliefs. Fake it till you make it. Sometimes you just have to push your boundaries, push yourself out of this state of,
Mm.
yeah, and
There is a great tool by Mel Robbins, 5 second rule.
Mel
Mel
Robbins.
Robbins. Yes, she's international speaker. She's a coach as well. The 5 second rule talks about catching yourself within a certain pattern. Like, let's say you notice that something's wrong, and you notice that you start to feel angry, and you have 5 seconds in order to change it and to make a conscious change. Because if you will allow those 5 seconds to go, then you will get angry. You will get into the same way of reacting to anger that you have learned in the past. But if you catch yourself in that small window of 5 seconds, you actually will be able to consciously make a decision. No, I am not going to get pissed at something. No, I will make a conscious, different reaction. And within those 5 seconds, it's possible to do it. If not, habitual, and our subconscious takes over, and then it'll be same story all over again. So 5 second rules, I totally recommend using. Best way, for example, you feel sad, and then your regular way of making yourself feel better is to grab a piece of chocolate. Obviously, I'm a chocolate lover, so I don't see anything bad in it. But if it's a everyday habit and you tend to eat too much of that chocolate, it may turn into something negative. So, in order to stop yourself, you have 5 seconds to realize, okay, it's a pattern, it's a habit. This is where I can change that. This is, instead of having that piece of chocolate, I go out to grab a fresh air. Having a lot of fat and calories, empty calories and sugar, towards burning some calories, having some fresh air, and getting out and feeling better in no time, because the mother nature will take care of it. Those are the two choices. So
And if you're
choose
hungry, have
which
an
one.
apple.
Yes, exactly. So this is all about being conscious and aware, and there is a reason why enlightenment is the most high vibrational, because it's all about awareness. When you're in alignment with who you are, and when you enlightened with your reality, with your life, that's when I think the real life and the second life starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Richard says, "No, I want that piece of chocolate, please."
We all do. We all do.
We all do, obviously, but sometimes we have to make.
Yeah.
Probably chocolate wasn't the best example, but
Yeah.
it's controversial. I love chocolate, and I will always go for a chocolate. But then, a piece of chocolate or an entire bar of chocolate, the choice is yours.
That's it. So,
Oh, there is an interesting comment here, which says you need negative ions to live. Yes, but it's all about balance. There is a certain, we require a state of homeostasis, which is the all negative and all the balance, all the negative and positive live in a harmonious kind of way.
mhm.
But if anything gets too much of, this can lead to disharmony, some sort of disease. It's actually thanks for pointing it out, because that's important to understand, that we need both. We need darkness and we need light. Sometimes we need to feel shitty in order to appreciate something good more.
We need the contrast.
Yeah, but that's
And
what the
celebrate it.
contrast does. Absolutely. Magda
So-
says chocolate is a great example for me. Yeah. So today, I hope you have a more understanding of that scale of how
Yeah.
one emotion can lead to another one,
Yeah.
and how working with a certain emotion can help us to feel better.
I'll put the scale on one more time
Yeah.
to wrap it up. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, you do
I
it.
was supposed to be in charge of
Yeah.
them.
So, where you are, maybe grab a screenshot if you can do it now, or maybe some other when you come back. See where you are on the scale. See where, and if it's
Yeah.
a regular pattern, try to raise your vibration. Try to get to a different level.
Yeah, I looked at the scale and I'm happy to say that I'm at peace.
Oh, at least.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
And then,
Thank you for your beautiful comments, guys. Thank you for such an encouragement. We loved it. And I think today's discussion is really, really important.
yeah.
Okay. I love that coming here can raise my vibration. Thank you.
Oh,
thank
wonderful,
you,
Claire.
That's a beautiful.
Wonderful, Claire. And we're going to see more of Claire on Saturday. You know that. We are both members of the Tarot Association of the British Isles.
Oh yeah, that's.
And this weekend
happened.
is the conference.
Yeah.
And if you're into tarot, the membership of the association, it's just £20 a year or something, and you get free access, Tabby, to the conference.
Congratulations, Claire.
And Claire, I hear you're opening the show Saturday, so we're both looking forward to see you there.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Before we move to tarot, which
it's a bridge. It's a bridge to the next topic.
Richard says, rise your vibration and you rise your singing vowels. Oh, that's interesting. To vibrate in optimum ways, they need care, maintenance, attention, blessings, cleansing. Careful handling.
The singing vowels or singing bowls? Would it be the singing bowls? Probably the B and V were mixed up.
Could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, there is so many ways, and we promise an entire episode on how to do it. The separate
episode. Yeah,
because you can do it with food, with actions, with. Oh my goodness, there's so many ways. That's why we want to bring it into
more episodes. This one we digest right now.
Yeah.
And let's move on to another favorite topic of ours.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are both tarot readers.
Yes, and there is a lot of tarot lovers watching
in our audience. Yeah. And the last 2 weeks we started a bit of a series on how to start reading tarot.
Mm-hmm.
First, choosing your deck, cleansing your deck. Last week we talked about the structure of the deck, the major and the minor arcana. And this week we decided to dive a bit deeper in a few major arcana cards, and we go. We're gonna delve into numbers 1 to 5. 1 to 5.
Yeah.
1 is the magician.
We skip the full.
We skip the
then-
full. The full will get its own episode, definitely.
Yeah.
There's too much to talk about the full. So it's the magician is number 1. Number 2 is the priestess or the high priestess. Number 3 is the empress. Number 4 is the emperor, and number 5 is the hierophant. If I listened to last week's episode of the tarot part, and it was all about endings and new beginnings and going over big things, and that these 5 cards are totally different because they're human archetypes. They're archetypes that represents us, our own life phases that we go through. And maybe you can bring them on screen.
Awesome.
And there we have them: the magician, the high priestess, the empress, the emperor, and the hierophant. And what's special about them? The magician, of course, is the know-it-all and do-it-all. Is the skilled, handy person, the person with the high vibration, the person with the skills to manifest anything magically.
Yeah. Manifester.
A manifester, a communicator. Mercury is his planet, the quickest planet, so it's a quick thing. When we turn the magician around, we get the trickster, we get the cheat, we get the we get people who sometimes benefit themselves at the cost of others.
Yeah.
So it's not all doom and gloom, but it's not all magically good as well.
Yeah, but then when it's in reverse, sometimes it may talk also about having everything in front of us, but not being able to use those skills.
Or not seeing it.
Not knowing how, not seeing it, even though it's accessible, there is a blockage there.
Yeah. We move on to the high priestess. There we have the wise woman, the spiritual teacher, or the one that, if we get her in a reading, that invites us to raise our vibration, to learn, to teach, to embrace our spirituality. We often see her with a finger for her mouth, not in this one, but we get more of them. And it's the wise woman.
Definitely. It's the intuition. It's the
yeah.
subconscious. It's the inner knowing.
And of course, she carries the moon, the crescent moon on her forehead. The next two, I always regard them as a couple. Their names are similar, the Empress and the Emperor. The father and mother archetype, the carer, the stability, the bringer of care and the bringer of earthy things.
Yeah.
Fire, watery. Very
to me,
interesting.
feminine, masculine.
Definitely.
Element.
Yeah, definitely.
Feminine creation, sometimes chaos, and the emperor doer.
Yeah. The authoritative figure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And of course we have the stairway to heaven with the Hierophant.
Which this one is actually an unusual visual for the Hierophant because he's smiling, he's joyful and happy. We'll probably get to the more traditional cards in a second.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, but this is I like it, Stairway to Heaven.
So it's a spiritual teacher. We see later in the Marseille Tarot that these two are a couple. These two can be a couple too. The Hierophant and the High Priestess.
Yeah. So
they're feminine, masculine side of it, and the Magician on its own. Well, sometimes the Magician has a bit of a relation with the High Priestess as well. So she has more ponds to fish in.
True.
Yeah, but so if you want to learn the tarot, get clear about the archetypes, about the doer, the know-it-all, the wise woman and the wise man, and the mother-father archetype, the
Yeah,
man-woman archetype in place. Let's go to a more traditional look at them.
yes,
Um, Rider-Waite-Smith, very interesting and very good deck to learn tarot with.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's the do it all. Um, we see the priestess with her two pillars, and there we see the connection with the hierophant.
Mm.
They both have the pillars as well, where they stand between. The magician, as above, so below. That's his credo, and also as below, so above,
Mm-hmm.
connecting the spiritual realm with the earthly realm. Um, up here we see the four suits we talked about last week: the cups, the swords, the coins or pentacles, and the wands
Mm-hmm.
on his table. So he shows this ability, the sign of eternity above his head.
Yeah.
Interesting cards. Emperor Empress, very royal depictions here. So they may be a bit um, remote from if you get them yourself. And who feels like he's top of the bill. We cannot all be Taylor Swift, we cannot all be number one. And of course we say the masculine, but we give that title to that lady, the emperor.
And
And
why, to find out why, go to the Fool's Journey in the episode about the Emperor, and you will get the answer why we say that Taylor Swift
is an
is
emperor.
actually an emperor.
And yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and an empress too, also, but in a different way, especially in her realm. Let's take it a bit further, and now we get to the um, more intuitive readings
More
and
traditional.
traditional card decks. So we still see the magician with his tools on the table, and now and the tool in hand, of course. Um, the position of the feet can be important. Where he gazes can be important. We see here Le Panses and Le Pape. So this is the Popus and the Pope. That's how they get
Mm-hmm.
connected in the traditional tarot. Of course, we never have known a proper female Pope. It seemed that there was one, but it was one dressed up as a man,
Yeah.
so playing a Pope. Um, Emperor and Empress, yeah, we already see that they're looking at each other a bit, and that's also interesting.
And why is it important that some of those,
Gazes.
yeah, gaze at each other? You can read so much about the connection between people or relationship we have with others just by reading the fabulous cards, just
Yeah,
by paying attention to those small details.
yeah. I have a lovely story of a reading that I had with my personal deck, the Thoth Tarot. Here without the titles, but they're the same cards again. Magician. I had a mother who was very worried about her son, the magician, and because the son was doing drugs and doing bad things with his life, and he had a bit of a struggle. In the reading, she came on the table as the mother archetype, but the emperor was on this side,
Mm.
which gave it away. I say, oh, but you are fighting with your son, but your husband has a totally different view, because I saw them looking away from each other in the normal sequence. Card 3 and 4, they look at each other, they're gazing at each other, they're a couple, they're working together, but they showed up in this way, which gave me the answer. Okay, you're not on the same page as
Mhm.
your husband with this one.
Yeah. So see how much you can tell by just looking and observing the details of the cards. Because
Yeah,
within tarot, everything has a meaning. Every single color, shape,
detail.
creature, detail has its meaning.
Yeah,
Especially in those traditional, like wider tarot, wider Smith tarot.
or the Messiah. Yeah,
Yeah, these things matter. And if you learn that, you'll be able to read cards more deeply and more accurate as well.
Yeah, you definitely do. So that's interesting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, which one out of those on the table would be your favorite? Perhaps I can take it off the screen now.
You
Back
mean the
to
deck or the card?
the cards itself out of people.
Yeah.
Guys, you could do it together. Those who read tarot
Yeah.
and those who are familiar with that.
Or people who are not familiar. If of any of the cards that we talked about, the magician, the priestess, the empress, the emperor, or the hierophant, which one resonates with you? Who are you in life?
That's also a good question.
Yeah. To me, the magic man.
Yeah.
I'm the juggler.
Well, nobody will be surprised if
Yeah,
I put this
yes.
card on the table.
I-
Priestess.
I always call you the high priestess of our channel,
Yes, you do.
and you are.
Why high priestess? Because of the connection of the deeper inner knowledge, because she's connected with the realms guiding her, as well as the empress. I have to say, the empress, the creative feminine energy, is the one which gives birth to everything.
The emperor. That was at times when I was very focused on my career. Got there, been there, done that. I would never identify myself with the hierophant.
Claire says that she loves the hierophant, the tough hierophant.
The hierophant. It's a beautiful card. It's I love the idea of what the hierophant says in this card, where you see the road and the sword of justice in the middle. So it's all about. But I have a bit of a problem being raised a Catholic and dropped out with clergy. And this one, like in the other cards, represent the hierophant was the Pope.
Yeah.
And that's an archetype that's not really resonant with me. I'd rather be a magician.
To me, it's too much structure, too much of tradition, and I'm all what tradition is not.
No. Yeah, and I'm more of a manifester than
absolutely.
And of course the wisdom and the teaching, but that would, for me, that would be embodied more with the card that comes later. That's the hermit. And the light bringer, the introspect, the one that thinks about stuff, And of course with the clergy also has a negative connotation for what happens in clergy atmospheres. Maybe we did an episode in our Fool's Journey about the Hierophant, and we ended that one, but we need new Hierophants. We need a new archetypal Hierophant in the world. We have seen so many people rising up and then falling down, rising themselves up, making themselves important. So it's the ego thing of the Hierophant that
absolutely. And look what Iron Firehorse says. I love the top deck. We also have a comment.
And Claire loves the Thoth deck too. Yeah, I know that. I used to think it was the religious aspect, but Thoth helped me to see beyond that, and that I'm learning from teachers of life all the time. I completely.
Yeah.
I see that too. Of course. Yeah. There. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Interesting. We will continue with those series because, first of all, we hope it's helpful. Second of all, we just enjoy that.
We love it ourselves. Yeah.
If you have any questions, guys, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll get back to those. But believe it or not, we've been together today for almost an hour, so it's about time to pull some guidance for you for the upcoming week. Have you got a deck on your hand?
Sorry. I might have a spread that I did earlier this week that I would like to share. I'll upload it.
Yeah, please.
If I can find it.
And
it's here.
I am pulling some oracle cards with the feminine wisdom, since the high priestess is looking at me here. You ready?
Yes, you start.
Oh, I'm not ready yet.
Oh, yes, you are.
Okay. All right. What is the guidance
What-
for
what-
upcoming week?
Yeah,
Just the guidance, just the overall guidance, what to focus on.
as a person.
Oh my goodness. I'll pull 3 cards. We have, first of all, healing and restoring back to health.
Shall I
Would you
hold
mind?
the card?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. I would,
Oh, look at the lovely card.
yeah, it's beautiful. Well, first thing I see is that transformative energy, because I see the butterfly wings. I can't see the card, unfortunately,
And
so
the
I
yoga
can't
pose. Yeah.
read the card yet. I need to do it my way.
Of course.
Some of you may experience difficulties with their health, physical or mental, emotional health. And it's right now is the really important time to focus and give yourself time to heal, to allow yourself to feel everything within you and then release them and blossom like a flower out of that. Basically use that experience to grow. When it comes to physical issues, often what I tend to observe is when people get sick, like really deeply, really challenging diseases. Usually, those diseases serve as a reset, as like a quantum jump into higher, newer versions of themselves. So if that's what you're experiencing, something you need to heal within yourself, now is the time to do it in order for you to rise above that. Second card, it's forgiveness. And we talked about forgiveness today a little bit.
Can we show
Releasing anger and resentment. First thing, what I see by looking at that card is that safetiness which that woman creates. There is a fox or an animal. I can't see the card
it's a fox,
right now, so it's hard to me to channel. I need to see the card. I'm sorry. It's the first time I'm using this deck. Yeah. So the first thing I see is that feeling of safetiness, as well as being connected to the heart, because she's holding her hand on her heart here. So she sends that energy of forgiveness to herself, to others as well, releasing anger and resentment. She allows herself to feel what's inside. She acknowledges the negative emotions and she forgives whoever or whatever created that feeling and created that emotion. So if there is something you feel like requires forgiveness towards other people or towards yourself, now is the time to work on that energy. Not to mention that those are usually low vibrations, like anger and resentment. Those are the lower one on the scale we showed you today. So in order to move yourself out of those negative emotions, use forgiveness to rise your vibration. And last but not least, another dark card, very similar card, home, safe haven, comfort zone.
Wow. Lovely.
Very, very similar. Would you mind to show this card
I can show
closer?
it. Yes, of course.
Again, a person who's content, a person who's holding herself. So she knows she can count on herself. She creates her own feeling of home. She creates her own feeling of safetiness. She takes responsibility for her actions, her behaviors, the way she reacts, and the way what she sends to the universe.
Lovely.
So find, just to summarize, through healing, you will be able to forgive yourself, forgive others, rise your own vibrations in order to feel with yourself at peace and at home.
And in your power.
Yeah.
And the home card is
Absolutely.
power, of course.
I like that.
Yeah.
Especially that there is an image of a kind of new moon here, which is approaching us already. So now is the time to heal, forgive, and work on feeling of self-contentment. So that's me.
Perfect. Well, I pulled some cards for the situation of the world.
Mm.
Where are
Oh,
we? Where are we
interesting.
going? What is our thing? So it's about it taps, and the reading tapped into actual events. So
Mm.
I love
Yeah,
to share it. Here
fantastic.
it is. We start on the left side with the magician again. We talked about him in reverse. Um, if we talk about the news, what happened this week there? We saw reversed magicians. We saw tricksters on stage. We saw Donald Trump, but we also saw Elon Musk. We saw Mark Zuckerberg. We saw Jeff Bezos. All people who are tricking, who are tricksters of creating a very good environment for themselves, but not always for the benefit and the greater good, and which is quite interesting, of course. Um, so uh, I don't say they're bad people, and I'm really in favor of being an entrepreneur.
Mm.
That's good. Being a businessman, because businessmen create jobs and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But um, the level of
personal agenda.
personal agendas, the level of um, we have seen that, especially in where these people work, that the working class, for since the industrial age, the working class grew income of the working class grew harder than inflation. So over years, people made more money, even relative to growth. So the working class became richer and richer.
Hmm.
And about 20 years ago, that has come to a standstill. And what we now see
Yeah,
is that young
absolutely.
people, and even uh, not younger adults anymore, there's not enough money for them to buy houses.
Yeah, that's crazy,
There,
isn't it?
so because of the strange and dishonest way of sharing the wealth, we see that people have worse lives. So the reverse magician was very to the point for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, Second card was the Two of Swords. Of
Mm.
course, a card where we close our eyes for the situation in the world. In this deck, which is the Alchemical Tarot by Robert Place, he also the maker says, yeah, but it's also about struggles and fights,
Yeah, I see a
uh,
conflict pointing
a
from that
conflict.
card. Yeah,
Yeah, and we see the
absolutely.
owl. So there's the conflicts that we might see coming in the world. The things,
Mm.
um, uh, that we see the division between people losing their wisdom
Yeah,
and uh,
that cross,
that cross. Yeah,
that swords are crossing, so that's like a
that's it's
signal of
fight.
blockage,
Yeah, it's a
fight.
blockage. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
there is an owl above that, so it's
yeah.
like
But
I'm crossing
so
out the
but the
wisdom.
all is the
Yeah.
observer.
Yeah, but the way I saw that is just like, no,
Yeah,
I'm blocking myself out of that. I don't want to see it from the higher. I'll
perspective.
show you the cards.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah,
to look at it from the higher perspective.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting to have those cards on the
yeah,
table when we talk about current
yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Wow.
And very very funny was the day I pulled the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the truce between Israel and Gaza happened, and the Four of Swords in the top tarot is called truce.
Oh wow.
Actually, yeah, and the Four of Swords is a timeout. Uh,
Mm.
and if you look properly at the word truce doesn't mean it's the end of the war yet. It means there's a
Mm.
break in the war.
Break,
It's
and
a
this
break,
card represents
and
that
the card
exactly.
represents a break, a
Yeah.
timeout.
Look, the
So
two lands here. I'm not sure if you can
yeah,
point me at the
yeah,
screen. Probably no, but there are two
yeah,
lands, and there is
left and
even.
right,
Oh
and
wow, that's amazing to
yeah,
have those cards
and
here.
and the victim is sitting
Yeah.
in the middle and finally has a break.
Mm. Wonderful.
Yeah. So what's next for us? How can we deal with it? Um, Hermit talked about the hermit as a wise man, uh,
Yeah.
countering the hierophant. It's more the hierophant is worldly, and the hermit is introspectively. So truth followed by introspection. I love it.
Mm.
Um, It also gives an idea of the vibration where we talked about. If we resonate with the negativity or the things we don't like in the world, we adjust to that vibration. And the hermit says, okay, maybe I take even a step back. I lower my
Mm.
vibration a bit in order to launch myself back again.
What is really interesting, 2025 is a ninth year, which is it's the card of Hermit.
It's
And
yes, card number 9.
to
Yeah,
me, the message is clear. The time is now. The time
absolutely.
is now.
The time is now to embrace your own wisdom, the wisdom of yourself,
Mm.
to raise your own vibration, to tap into your own strength.
But also go within and pull yourself out of the drama, out of the chaos, because only
Absolutely.
then you will be able to actually see things for what they truly are.
Final card.
Mm.
If we look at the Two of Swords, the second card, and the final card, where instead of fighting and striving and blocking each other, we're getting together.
Yeah, the Sun card, the
The
card
Sun
of
card,
happiness.
the card of happiness, the card of we made it, the
Mhm.
card of we will get together, and a card of friendship, of joy.
Interesting set of cards on the table for sure.
And it's an interesting story that
Yeah.
when we take this, especially with the hermit is the one who creates the distance
Mhm.
between the situation and the rest of the world, and what we gain from it is we rise our vibration. Look at the last card; it's the
Yeah.
most high vibrational card in the
Exactly.
pack. And the love it radiates, the couple coming together, uh, and the sun and the moon in there. It's a
Mm.
lovely story.
And that's how you can rise your own vibration as well, by taking example from the hermit and detaching yourself from the drama you find yourself
Yeah,
surrounded.
yeah. So the truth is the
Yeah.
shed between it, and we go within.
Yeah. I want to see. Oopsie. Okay, you take over.
You want to see the comments?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And I want us to be on the screen.
We have to be
as
back
well.
on screen. Let's start there.
Yeah. Awesome. I told you I'm going to mess some things.
No, you're doing fine.
Yes.
So
The 5 cards look like it goes from day to night and back to day.
Oh,
that's
Claire.
wonderful.
Oh,
Well
that's
spotted.
wonderful. Yeah.
That's fantastic, and it actually creates that story that from the basically story of the life, from the day to night, from the high vibrations to low vibrations. But it
And then
actually
back
is a
up
part of story, because when we hit the bottom, we
we
can
bounce back.
bounce back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the light.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else did we miss? Richard says these cards sure hit home. Luna, thanks. You're welcome.
Yeah, well, they were lovely.
Yeah. We have some things people are thanking each other, which I absolutely love, because guys, we rise the vibration here
Together.
just by acknowledging each other in the comments, saying hello, sharing your tips, your wisdom, your sometimes life stories. And believe it or not, we've witnessed here really deep confessions about really tragic stuff sometimes. And yet, that person always felt held, acknowledged, and loved by this community. So, for that, we thank you guys, because it's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing the space with us.
Yes. Iron Fire Horse says it's hard here in Canada right now to be detached.
Oh, Canada, yes. Canada is on the wish list of Donald.
Yeah,
And Greenland.
I know.
Yeah. Well, there was in the Viking communities, there was especially on the socials, there were all Viking ships setting ashore to save Greenland.
Maybe we should. We're
coming to rescue you.
Yeah, but
maybe they're coming to rescue Canada as well.
Oh, somebody comes here to say hi.
Oh, do we have here?
Come on. Yes, well, as they say, it's the most quiet place is in the eye of the storm. And
hello, our producer, Karma Productions.
Yes.
limited.
I think she came here to let us know that it's about time to start wrapping
Betty's
up.
time. Yeah.
Yes, as much as we love, guys, to spend that time with you and share that beautiful Wednesday evenings with you, it's time to depart.
Yeah.
It's time to say goodbye for tonight. Thank you so much
Love
for
you all.
joining us live, or if you're rewatching it, thank you so much for sharing your energy with us. It's a pleasure, and see you next week.
See you next week. Bye all.